you will find your place, and I'm going to ring the bell, and as I do, I'd like for you to become very present. And whatever you do to center, could be breathing deeply and kind of dropping into your heart. Either defocus your eyes or close them. So as people are coming in, just keep finding that center, and I see Helen and Stephanie need to come up front, or just pull the chair over there, that'll be fine. I'm sitting there, though. There's one over by Bob. Helen. There's one by Bob. So welcome, everyone. My name is Linda Roebuck. I'm the founder of ACT, and I'm so excited to be with you today and to see my friends from my many circles and how special it is to me today. So I may kind of work to control it. So one of the things I did do is ask Donna Jean, she is our newest member, so she wasn't a writer, to be kind of do the announcements, so I don't have to think about that now. So Donna Jean. Donna Jean.
Well, good afternoon. It is so exciting to see everybody here. And yes, I'm going to have a few announcements, some information to share, and then we'll attempt to talk about how we see the afternoon unfolding. So ACT has, ACT co-sponsors a lot of events and programs throughout the year. And there's two special programs that they've co-sponsored for a number of years. Many of you know about them, many of you don't, so I wanted to mention them. The first one is A Course in Miracles, which is held every Monday night at the home of Dave and Francie Boyce in Arnold. It's from 7 to 8:30. The other regular special program are the Reiki Shares, which I happen to coordinate, and are held here at Unity by the Bay, the first Monday of the month, starting at 7 o'clock. There are flyers out in the foyer with more information about that. We have another program that's coming up that we are co-sponsoring, and I'm going to ask Gloria to come up and tell us a little bit about that.
Okay. Here, I think I'm loud enough. Let me know if I'm not. Here. All right. I think I'm loud enough. All right. So, Robert Siegel is coming back. Many of you were here last month. Hello?
Yes.
Got it. And he gave a great program, and he enjoyed the community so much, he's coming all the way from Richmond, Virginia to come back and present. And his new program is called Experience Evolutionary Health. I haven't heard that before. Evolutionary Health, where science meets ancient wisdom. And the dates are Sunday, December 8th at Unity, and the times are from 2 to 5:45, so that gives you plenty of time to come to our exciting holiday party that will also be here at Unity. And he's offering a special price for early birds until December 2nd of $129, and after that it is $149. And there'll be a focus on calming skills and uplifting skills. And believe me, with 2020, you've heard me talk about 2020 before, we're going to need calming skills and uplifting skills. And these skills lead to emotional and physical health and development of intuition. And Abby Rosen has some flyers if you're interested, or she'll put them out on the desk. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So if you're interested in having ACT co-sponsor an event, a program, a workshop, you can speak to any of the members on the CCC, or you can go to our website, www.actannapolis.org, where you'll not only get information on co-sponsorship, you'll get information on how to become a member. You'll see all the exciting programs that are coming up in the fall, in the winter and spring. And you'll also hear what Gloria just referenced, our annual holiday party is coming up on Sunday, December 8th. It's going to be here for the second year in a row. This place just gets transformed into a beautiful festive venue. It's from 6 to 9. Tickets are available right now on the website, and I highly encourage you to get them in advance. We anticipate it's going to be sold out, so definitely visit the website.
And the band person bandwidth that's playing, Tina, is here today.
Oh, good, yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
There is, there's a flyer out in the foyer also that talks about the band.
So come join us and buy
Fun
your
food,
ticket.
yeah, fun food, great music. Now, to talk about the flow of the afternoon. We are truly blessed to have one of our own, visionary Linda Roebuck, who's here today to present on the subject of circular leadership. We're going to have opportunities to connect with one another, and of course, what would an ACT gathering be without some amazing music? Then that's going to lead us into the introduction, the launch, the celebration of the newly published book, Circular Leadership, Together We Rise. And if that wasn't exciting enough, Skip Conover, who was one of our co-sponsored programs a month or so ago with the Carl Jung Depth Psychology Reading Group in Eastport, he's here today, and he's putting us on a live broadcast on YouTube. And we're also doing a live stream on Facebook. Thank you, Shannon. So everybody be on your best behavior, or not. So it's going to be a high and good vibration kind of afternoon. And I'm going to turn it back over to Linda so she will introduce our amazing musicians for the afternoon.
So are you both doing it? Well, we have special music. First of all, Bob, Simon, and Shannon Plummer. A little bit about Bob. He is like the Eckhart Tolle with a guitar. So, and he has written our theme song. He gave us the subtitle of the book, Together We Rise. So very excited to have them here together today. And they're almost newly married. It's been a little over a year, but we welcome you. And we were trying to plan this, and so I said to Bob, what song? He said, it'll be a surprise. So he's got the first song. I don't know what it is. So, welcome Bob and Shannon.
I know what the song is.
Somebody knows.
I don't think Shannon even knows.
I don't know what it is. It's a surprise Nice to meet you.
I just want to say how beautiful it is to look out at you. I wish you could see what we see. But yeah, I think this could have been the theme song, the soundtrack to the book, but decided to write another one for that. But this really does speak, I think, to what you've created, what we've all created together. With our eyes wide shut in the still of the night, we sit and hold the vision. When the fears burn wild, we don't run and hide. We see a world with no division. We see with one love, one heart, one drum beating to a song that's singing us home. We dance in white light under the starlight. We are the sacred seeds of the sound of all. And we say, Aho, Amen, Om Shanti Om. And we say, Aho, Amen, Om Shanti Om. We are the movers and the shakers and the peacemakers. We are the
but now what do I do? Rather than start right into my presentation, I wanted to recognize just a few people. And I'm going to start with my transformational author coach, Christine Closer. Would you stand up so people can... Many of you know in here that I was working on my own autobiography or memoir, and that wasn't the one. I had to call and I would like for Carrie to read, who has been the midwife of this book. She is the publishing arm for Christine Closer Publishing, and I'm so glad keep holding my hand. Thank you so much for being here. And Gail McLean, where's Gail? I thought I saw her. Would you stand up? I belong to this church, and Gail happens to be a prayer chaplain. And one day, and I didn't really know her well, I hadn't even been saying her name right. I was saying McCain instead of McLean. And when I would be platforming, and I didn't, she said, very nicely corrected me. But I went to her and I said, would you mind praying with me? Because I have this book that I'd like to have a blessing for, or whatever, that we're putting together. And so she did a beautiful prayer for me, and then she said, you know what I do, don't you? I said, no. And she said, I'm a graphic designer, graphic artist. So she said, if I can help you in any way, I will. And I said, oh, thank you, but, I've got somebody doing that, that'll be okay. But she did help Ed with the graphic. Anyway, she designed the cover of the book. She's been with me all the way through with the graphics. And yes, good, Scott has this out. Thank you, Scott. Scott left thing on our helping with the PowerPoint today. But today is Gail's birthday. To mention that. And then I am going to be starting my presentation in a moment about having a vision. And there were two people early on when that vision started manifesting that were by my side helping. And I'd like to recognize my two friends, Dick Smith and Catherine Johnson. Would you stand? Richard Bredesen is our webmaster, and he's my technical guru that I go to for anything that I need help that way. But that's what Dick was when we started off with that. And long before it got sophisticated. So 20 years ago, you think about what that was like. So thank you all and your other people, but that right now, I can't go into that, but thank you for helping this book to manifest. So I don't even think I need to use the podium. I think I can do this. I want to do the objectives. Scott, maybe it's because I haven't. These are my objectives for today. The first one is for you to recognize the power of a vision. The second one is to be aware of the interconnectedness of everything to each other. And we started using the phrase from me to we. And then to experience and this will be, you will have an opportunity to experience resonance in a circle. And if you've never paid attention to it, I think it's a powerful experience. So we will plan to do an experience before we end. And then I wanted to talk about, let you know about a movement that we're starting. It's a global movement on circular leadership. And if you're here today, I know you're part of it. And I think that's what I wanted to touch base with on those objectives. So I'd like to start with the model, circular leadership model. What I've discovered is there are stages that we go through. And the first one is convening or calling the circle. And I call that first circle after I had a vision. And I was sharing the vision was actually in a very sacred spot I'll just say it was in West Virginia, and had been there for a new moon ceremony overnight. very, very high energy, and I was walking out on the property the next morning, and everything looked surreal. And it was like the ground started trembling. All I could see was rainbow with these embracing, glittering golden letters that said International Healing and Ascension Center. And I thought, what does that mean? But it just, and then I thought, I don't understand that, so I just put it aside for a while, a couple of years, and it kept nudging me. And I thought, well, I can't put the word ascension in, but maybe I could call a circle or didn't call it a circle then, call people together that might be interested in co-creating a healing center in the Annapolis area. So I paid for an ad, it was $111, or at that time it was the evening capital. And then I had 40 flyers that I put out to friends and held the first meeting at the Annapolis Library in 2001 on February 4th. And it invited people to come if they thought they were to be a part of a healing center. So we had almost, it was right at 100 people that showed up at the Annapolis Library, and we could not have room for everybody to get in the door. And people were sitting out, outside of it. But I knew there was a need here and there's something, but I had shared my vision and people showed up. So then we started, that's when the work began with Catherine and Dick, and there were a number of us. We started having dream teams operating in circles, that's what we called them. We called them focalizer groups, and then there would be a lead person for each one, and they started meeting with me, and then we would plan and we started doing monthly gatherings. That's how we kicked off. So the importance of having a vision, sharing it, see the results of people coming together and manifesting it. So that's the little piece of having a vision and convening a circle and how it started. Let's go to the second phase, which is the connecting phase. And that's when we come together, because the first phase we were all excited. This is what people wanted to do. They were in. I mean, we had huge meetings where we were trying to determine our name. And so we were calling it, we agreed. And Dick, you were the only dissenting vote. We were doing consensus. He had another one he wanted. Maybe two. But he eventually said, okay, I could live with it. It's not what I want. But it's in that phase of the connecting phase, once you kind of get that the rubber starts meeting the road and people started beginning to drop out. This is a critical phase in any kind of setting like this, because it wasn't manifesting like quickly enough, or it wasn't what they wanted. Maybe what I really think started happening, it was hard work. And people had to really realize, if I'm going to do this, I got to do my part. So we began to not have so many people showing up. And just had to mention that particular phase, because that is when people will check out or whatever. If you get through that, and we have, believe me, we go to collaborating. When you're in that collaboration, that's when really the norming starts. You're beginning to say, oh, we would have guidelines or ground rules that we pulled out every meeting and made sure, they would speak one at a time, listen with your heart, those types of things. And now we don't even think of it. It just has become so, we don't ever bring those guidelines are out or anything. And the newer people that have joined in the last few years don't even realize that we've had that was built like that. But the collaboration phase is a critical phase that if you're going to move on or not. Then we meet to the co-creation stage. And you see, we are there now, but we'll talk about that in a little bit when I talk. But that co-creating stage is fun. It's when things are moving. Mutual respect, trust. People are, bottom line, caring for people in the circle. And learning how to be non-judgmental. Maybe a little, times we have to say, whoa, we're getting a little off, it's chaotic. let's stop. And when we stop, and we know this, I'm looking at the ones that go, we stop and we go within, we take, and then maybe 2 or 3 minutes, then we come back out, and it's amazing how it has shifted because people have had time to sit with what was going on and what do you really want. So one of our key themes, and I'll go into that in a minute, but it's how we are together is more important than what we do. So that's big. And then culminating and celebrating. When we reach whatever it is, the project or the end of it, whatever we've been working on together, we celebrate. And we honor each other's birthdays and but it's a party, but it doesn't stop then. We haven't really completed. What happens is we spiral up to the next level and we start again. Kind of, what are we coming around, doing around this? There was something I was thinking about I wanted to share, but that's good, Scott. We'll go to the next one, because the themes that I just mentioned, how we are together, more important than what we do. And this is part of the model. Leadership is shared. Now, I do call the circle. I see myself as holding the space, being the container, so that everybody, and when we were having a Zoom call and they were asking me what I was going to talk about, and I couldn't, well, what is it that you do, what is it? And I thought, I really, truly care deeply about every person in the circle. We know some of the things that people are dealing with, and we support that through hard times and joyful times like marriages. We got 3 over here that kind of went through the marriage thing since we've been doing this. Our doing comes from our being. The way I grew up, it was always like, I got to do something in order to be somebody or to have something. And that's not the way it works. We've learned. When you are truly in your own beingness, in your own being, what's yours to do shows up. And then you know to move, it's the right direction. And then this is a critical piece too, and I think I mentioned that on a little video if you've all been on the website or anything. It's like one member's success is everybody's success. We're not competitive, we collaborate, we celebrate, and we actually, when somebody's successful, I feel successful today. And all of these people that have helped me are successful. So it's like, that's how it works. So, the final one, these are just themes, but the final one is being the change we want to see in the world. So how we be reflects what's going to be happening in our lives. If your life is not going the way you want to, how you being. Okay, let's see what I have next. Okay. This is a little bit of a change in what I was thinking of doing. This is a graphic that Gail helped Ed, my husband, design, because he had a concept. And we had been talking about circles, but we also know that a circle spirals. So if you notice the cover of the book, we have the flower of life, but it's kind of in a 3D thing. It's hard to see. But if you look at a regular regular flower of life symbol, there are 19 intersecting circles. I'm going to show you a seed of life in a few minutes, so you'll see that that's the beginning of it, how it works. But when I chose the design on the cover, I just wanted the flower of life. I thought, I don't know why I want that. And that's kind of what with the circles and all. But then when I counted and when I found out there are 19 circles in the flower of life, and there are 19 writers in this book, and so that was like meant to be, I guess. Go with that. And then the spiral is behind it. So Ed's idea was how ACT got birthed. And it started with that core group, we're calling it the CCC. Our CCC is the Co-Creation Council. And that is a board that we have. We operate like Knights of the Round Table. There are 12. Can you imagine? 12 of us getting along in this kind of, it's because we've practiced and know the principles and we have this true respect for one another. So his thought was, it's all energy, vibration, frequency, and light, and this is the spiraling life force energy of the universe. And at any moment, there could be a birthing, and at this time we called it the Co-Creation Council, which from that sprung ACT. And ACT stands for a community of transformation, not a center, which we first had talked about or announced. Because that was where people started dropping out. They wanted a center, and we were able to keep the ACT acronym and call ourselves a community. I think the reason I'm showing this is because this leads to a movement. I know it does. So when we come together in harmony and love and in true intention, and intention is such a big piece of what we work with. Let's go back. You're almost there. That we can together start a global movement using this flower of life, and I'm going to ask us in a little bit to seed the movement so that we really take it out into the world. This is the way. It's about raising consciousness and changing people's lives. If you read the back of the book, it's like humanity's suffering, and we're not rising. And this is one way we can do it, globally. And I'm learning, and I just have to say this because this kind of kicks off a little bit too. When we put our word out about the book today and asked people if they would buy it on Kindle or whatever, we started, like our resident astrologer here had the magic time at 5:35, so that's when we started sending out our emails, and that many of them went out then. And by 11 o'clock, we had reached number 1. In the category of business teams. So it's an interesting thing that's the category that's what surfaced as got us to that number 1. And Rosemary texted me this morning because she took the screenshot, which you have to show to prove you got there. So we have proof that we got there. Thank you, Rosemary, for that. We're going to keep watching because who knows, there may be more going on. So, okay, Scott, we can. I think I want to skip that one for right now. We'll do that. That is about the movement. What I have done is one out of order, but that's okay because I'm going to talk about it. I don't know which slide it is, Scott. I think it's operational culture. Do you see it? It goes back, I think. Maybe not. Anyway, I can just talk about that because this is simple. And it's so critical to me that it's in my heart, and it's what I've taught in my Reiki classes. It's what I've taught in other classes that I've been in. But there are really 4 things. If you follow this, it's almost like a blueprint. That was not it. It might be there. But it's intention. What is your intention? I'm just going to say them, and if you pop up, there will intention, attention, honor, and unconditional love. And we'll talk about what those mean. There it is, shared value, operational culture. What we have done, and this is how we do operate. We have a clear intention. We have an individual intention, and then we have a shared intention. And the second one, though, you can have an intention, but if you don't keep your focus on it, if you don't keep your attention on it, it falls. What we know, you want to say it, Gloria?
What you focus on expands.
What you focus, and yes, what you focus on expands, and where your attention goes in, you remember?
Your
The energy flows, that's right.
That's
Where attention,
manifestation.
and that's manifestation. So it is following intention, attention, honor them. This is big, because Ed and I now use we use that for ourselves. We honor each other. It's more than love. It's needed. It's not more than. It is needed for love to be there. And it really means non-judgment. So that you can show up and not judge me. And it's that piece that is powerful. And that forgiveness comes into there too. Sometimes you have to get into that and work on those parts. But to honor, and then unconditional love, where that's just being kind and compassionate and caring with the people. Sometimes when you use the word love, it's kind of convoluted, you not quite understand what it means. But these I just offer to you, and we'll see where we go next, Scott. Okay, there you go. We'll just stop. We'll just say that. What I'd like to have you think about right now. And I had said this earlier, I'm going to let Spirit guide me. People are trying to say, what are you going to do? What's the exercise? And I said, I don't know yet. I still don't know, and I do know. But I'm taking a moment just to make sure this is what we're to do. So, yeah. We're going to move around a little bit, so I know Skip is trying to record, and we've got the live stream on too. But this part I would like for everybody to participate in. And what I'd like for you to do, we're going to get into groups of 4, but how we're going to do that, and you stay seated up here. Okay. We'll see how this goes. Find a person. It's really good if you don't know the people, because you can see that this can work. Or if you could stay with somebody if you know them and you want to, that's fine too if you're uncomfortable. But get with somebody right now and or connect with them however you want to. Hold their hand or just whatever. Stand up with your pair and put your hands up like this. Now, go this pair, start walking around the room and find another pair. Okay, would you find 4 chairs? Let me see how many teams of 4 we have. How many teams of 4 do we have? Who needs another? Okay, here's a pair. Who needs more? He needs another pair. Over back in the back. Malcolm? Who's that by you there? You just need one more? One of us go. Oh, here's 2 here. Okay, now pull up chairs so that you're sitting in a 4. Get a chair. However you can find it. If there's a threesome, that's okay. We're gonna make it work. We'll go over there. No, it's got to be Betty and Susan?
Yeah,
Hang on.
all right.
All right. Karen, would you join them? Stephanie, would you join this group? Now, how many, let's see, who still needs somebody? The two of you, we're trying to get into fours. Okay. Okay, go with them, Karen. Oh, no, Anita's, are you going over there, Anita?
We're gonna go here.
Okay.
Of course.
Just 4 people right now. Now, you're gonna have to move around a little bit so you're not squunched in with another group. So we're just gonna be okay with this for a moment. Now, when you get there, introduce yourselves as, and while you're doing that, just kind of introduce yourselves like your name, and don't have to say much else right now. But one of our writers is gonna come sit with your group. So, you'll find a group. I told you this is coming through, I had it. And we really want to make it a five-person circle.
I found that ages ago. That was the bolt. Thank you.
I love it, the vault.
Yeah, right. I got so much stuff, you know.
I can use that.
Sure, we have 5 in a group. We need one over there, one more over. Wait now, while the hands are up. Who else? Okay, so, that's not working for each one of us to join you because there are more. So just get a foursome, that's all.
There's 2 groups without somebody. Are they not doing it?
3 is okay. If you're in a threesome, what we want is it to be more circular, not square, not cross.
Okay.
So we want to make sure you have, but if you have 3, that's okay. It can be a circle. Okay, so find your seat, take your position, and look around, and this is the time now to make sure you know who's in your group. Because we're going to do energetic resonance building activity. And so you want to know who they are. So we can do this by just, you can say their names, you know, just kind of, and when they say their name or whatever, look at them. You know, so you just look at each other's eyes. You know, so often we don't even see people. We just look at, and so you know when you go into the resonance with them, you'll feel the energy. And you'll be able to even feel other people's around you. So just look and make sure, and names are good, you know? Say your name. Okay, remember the 5 C's? You called your circle. Circle has been called, you found your circle. Now you're connecting. This is when some people say, I don't want to do this, I don't like doing this kind of stuff, and they want to back out. Trust me, if we want to change the world, we got to be able to do this. right, keep talking, you've got another minute. Just so you make sure and look at each other, laugh, or whatever you do, just to recognize one another. And I see Rebecca back there, I didn't see.
She's gonna get reclaim her identity. No, she's getting her name back.
Are we ready now? And I'd like for you to get really snuggly with your group. You can just kind of come up close,
Yeah, we're snuggled up.
where your knees are in the circle.
Do my best. Just fusing the ceiling.
All right, now we will just take a moment and get quiet. Let's take a moment and do it. One of the things that Ed and I did back in September, we took a effortless meditation course. And so I'm going to lead you through a little bit of a effortless meditation to get into this presence. So you first have to tune into your own inner guidance, your own heart, your spirit, your soul. But just taking a moment and go within. This is the individual work, the individual that shows up in the soul. And what Peter Russell said in the effortless meditation, we just drop into it. You're looking for stillness. Be still and know. Be still. Be. Notice your hands and your feet. They may feel a little vibration or heat. Be aware of your hands and your feet. And if any thoughts come in, and they will, don't attach to them. Let the thought go. And go back to feeling your hands or your feet. Imagine, if you will, that there is a giant ball of light that is coming down toward your group. While you're sitting there, notice that there is a beam that can come from your heart and go to the person on your right. And as it goes around, you receive it from the left. So it's making a circle of hearts. Now allow that circle to fill with this ball of light that is really descending and coming down over your group. Begin to feel the energy that is building from your heart space as it connects with each person in the group. There's nothing to do, nowhere to go. Just bask in your being with this group that is the perfect group for you right now. While you're sitting in this space, in resonance with the other hearts in your group, I ask this question. Are you ready to do your part to change the world? To do the things that only you were preordained to do? Are you ready? What do you bring to the table, to the group? The gifts in your group can be woven together to make a strong force for good. Take a deep breath. And bring your awareness, your conscious awareness back into your group. And very gently open your eyes and look around the people in your group. And whatever way you want to express gratitude for them, maybe it's by looking, maybe it's by touching a hand, or I see an honoring here with namaste, whatever it is you feel called to do, let them know. And now, I'd like for you to begin to talk. You've got no more than 5 minutes, maybe less. But if you would share, what is it that you would like to do to change the world? What could you do? What would you like to do? What gifts do you have that might want to come out? Because they're in here. It's amazing. We can be unstoppable. That's what we don't know. We just believe the forces that would keep us down. Force for good, for light. So what is it that you would want to bring forth? So you may begin talking, and I'll ring a bell or something when it's time to stop. So make sure everybody has at least 30 seconds to chime in, okay? We try to make sure everybody gets to speak.
I don't mind starting first. Mine's easy. Exactly what I'm doing. Exactly what I'm doing. Yeah. Serving people like Linda around the world to liberate their message and get their books out that positively impact people's lives.
And I just have to say I was there a couple weeks ago, and you definitely are doing what you're called to do. It's your calling, for sure.
Thank you. Yes.
It was very good.
So you've done this with other books as well?
I've been publishing since 2004. I've trained nearly 80,000 authors. I've published well over 300 authors I think I've published over the years.
Yeah.
Carrie over here in the blue shirt runs my publishing company, and she did all the detail work to birth this book, but I help people get that message out. So I wouldn't change a thing. just more people. Just more people. Just
Oh, I guess we don't have time, but it sure would be nice sometime to hear how that started and kind of how it developed. But, yeah.
It's an interesting story, but yes, I will share it on my new podcast, which is starting December 16th. So I'll make sure Linda lets you know about it.
Yes, that's great. Yeah, great.
Do we just want to go
Who else?
around?
Wanna go next time?
I don't know what to say, actually. You know what? I guess one of the personal things I'm working on at the moment is to open my heart so I can be so I can let love flow through. I've been blocked in that, and I'm coming out of that, and that's kind of where my focus has been at this time. I can sing, I can write, I can. I published a book, I paint, I do all kinds of artistic things. I don't know what it's like. My sister's Karen Brockman, and I've said many times of Karen, Karen can do anything. I can too.
Sure.
I just need to.
Yeah, for sure. That's great.
Thank you.
I published a book, a prosperity book.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Big accomplishment.
The gift that I would like to share with the world
Is helping everyone heal the dis-ease within, connecting with their inner selves, and growing into life's abundance. And for me, that started with changing my perception and beginning to see things differently. And I ask myself this silly little question all the time. If I wasn't currently thinking, feeling, being, acting, or doing what I'm currently thinking, what I'm currently feeling, being, acting, and doing, how else could I be? And by giving myself permission to think differently, then I can respond differently. And I want to take that message out to the world and help other people heal their dis-ease within and connect with their inner selves so they can grow into the abundance of their life.
I guess the word that came to me was acceptance of other people. I really feel like very small ways of being with other people can have the ripple effect of just going out around. And I'm kind of working on my neighborhood at the moment. And there have been some things going on in the neighborhood that I think can be, that are good and could be better. But I think acceptance. And then I think all the way up from on a personal level between people, and then neighborhoods and families, neighborhoods, and on up. But I guess it's just a ripple effect. I don't have any big ways I haven't written books or anything like that, but I've been a teacher, so yeah, there we are.
Right. Nice. Well, I think it all starts with that, with the individual, and my chapter in the book is Imagine, because I love John Lennon, so I kind of picked it, from
Finish what you're just sharing at that point. Has everybody had enough time to
No, we haven't. We haven't.
We were thinking maybe so.
Yeah. My chapter in the book is from I to We, and I think I was talking to a friend last night, and I said, imagine a group, being in a group where there is no weak link. They say any group is as strong as the weakest link. Well, imagine a group that doesn't have any weak link, that everybody in the group is respected and honored, and they bring their own gifts, because I do believe that everybody's got their own gifts, and that when you work together in circle and you listen to each other, and sometimes the ego tries to get in the way, so you kind of recognize that, but try to get to your highest self, the highest place where the light within, and work from that place and that place of wisdom. And I love to write. I have never, well, other than this chapter, it's the first time I've ever done anything that's published, but I love to write poetry, and I love to write. So starting my day with intention of making it the best day it can be, touching as many people's lives as I can with love, whether it just be a smile or whatever. And I don't see myself doing anything huge. I think just being the best me I can be.
And that is huge.
That's
Yeah.
yeah.
That is huge.
Yeah.
Makes a difference.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
That would be transformative if we all did that.
Well, I think we're trying, right? We're working on it.
Yeah. So for me, for four years, I've been doing this web channel on Carl Jung's work, and he was all about coming to within yourself, to know yourself more than anything else. And one of the things that has particularly interested me lately is his idea of the eternal moment, that this is the eternal moment, and we have to make the best of all possibilities in this moment and every moment. And so I've been learning calligraphy, and I'm the full quotation, which is on my talk, which you can find on the website if you didn't come 2 weeks ago, is a page long. So I'm writing it out in calligraphy for each of my 10 grandchildren about the eternal moment.
As a group, this is your project, this is your collaboration, this is your co-creation now. You're going to co-create. How could you take the gifts or what people want to do in your group and have a vision? You're to develop a vision with what you could do with the gifts in your group. Okay? So take a minute and think about what people have shared. And it can be magical. It can be far out, guess what? It can happen. But just think big. Think out of the box. What kind of vision could you really have with the gifts in your group?
What would we say is
And if
the
anybody
essence?
has paper or something to write it down, that would be
What would we
good.
say is the essence of
What
each of our
suggested
gifts?
was maybe
Transformation.
Transformation, love. Do we have anything to write?
Giving.
I don't.
And education.
Oh, look at you, Marie. Love it. So transformation, love. Mine is liberation.
E or A and C?
A. Yeah. Either one.
Mine was an intention, like a daily, starting my day with an intention.
Which is so important. Yeah.
What's the
Well,
essence of your gift?
I guess creativity is the most important thing to me. And what I can do, what I can offer to this group, if you like, is I can interview each one of you and put the interview on my YouTube channel. If you look at the channel, you'll find that there are a lot of just average people that I'm interviewing, and they're all living their lives in different ways around the world. And some of their work is really amazing. I have a group member in France who just did a interview with me about the Joker and the Trickster, and she's had 350 hits on her interview in 2 days.
Wow.
So can we add visibility as one of the
That's
gifts?
great. That's
right?
a good one, yeah.
And what would you say, Diana, is the essence of your gift?
Well, love was what is my focus. That's what I want to do. But in terms of my gift, I'm an extremely good organizer. I'm both high level, I can imagine, and I can also bring it into organization. Right?
You can implement.
I have a whole lot of psychic abilities that I have been avoiding for some time that are coming back to the fore. Huh?
Yeah.
What a gift.
Yeah, it is a gift.
That is a gift to share.
So what could a collective, like what could a vision be?
Can you read them all?
Let's just say for the, for the raising of the consciousness of the world, if we're connected to this theme,
We have
our vision for what?
We have transformation, liberation, love, acceptance, intention, creativity, visibility, organization, and psychic gifts.
Seems like intention would be what we would want to come up with as the, what our intention for the vision would be. I don't know if anybody has any ideas on how that would.
What this is speaking to me over, and just a thought as to what I'm seeing start to come off the page, is, for lack of better words, a program that, because of the organization, it would be marketed visibility, a program to help people get in touch with the love within.
What would our program be?
Just think what an incredible group this is. And lots of young people, I mean, we're constantly educating young people, right, from the time they're children up. And lots of young people don't get exposed to a group like this. And they don't understand how average people live their lives and see the world.
What about a world where teen suicide just didn't exist?
Say again?
What about a vision of a world where teen suicide didn't exist?
That's right, but that comes from...
I mean, that's just what came up, just because it's like...
That comes from meaning.
I have a teenager.
Yeah.
She does suicidal, but I have...
And we have a terrible disconnect on meaning because the philosophers out there in the world think meaning should be a definition rather than a meaning of your life, what you're dedicating your life to, and it can't be defined. And we don't have people that are understanding that point. That's a crossover point between the physical world and the psychic world that needs to be understood. You can't get meaning out of a dictionary. You can't define it.
So are you talking about a program then that would be geared towards the youth?
Yeah, that would be great. I mean, mine is. I mean,
It's like we're bridging the gap with what we all have to offer and what you were just saying and you were just saying.
Right.
It's our gifts are the structure that's going to build the bridge to the gap, from the unconscious way of life into opening and exploring the conscious life through the acceptance of who and what we are.
Truly.
Without the judgments, without the limitations.
And with love.
Absolutely, with love, which becomes so liberating, and they are able to transform into the unfoldment of who and what they were born to be.
And we're talking about young people still, right? Or are we talking about everybody, or what are we talking about?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's just kind of like that ripple effect of where they are the seed, and for lack of better words, we become the fertilizer to help nurture that seed to help it grow.
Yeah, wouldn't that be great?
And how is it done?
We've written creativity out of our education system.
Absolutely.
And people can't get in touch with themselves and what they mean, not only to themselves but to society, without having contact with that part of themselves. And so I always say, go to a nursery store, go to the Sears tool department, go to an art store, go to a kitchen supply store, whatever floats your boat. Walk through the place and see what speaks to you. Okay, and so if you're in an art store, it could be a watercolor set. Whatever it is, pick that up and work with that, and then your creativity will start to flow. And I just have a trick. Every morning I make my wife an omelet. I make an omelet every morning for my wife, And what that does for me is it causes me to open up my creativity first thing in the morning, and it works for me all day because I've been doing this creative act of presenting an omelet, which is different. They're not beautiful.
But it's still a creation, right? I mean, you've taken a variety of things and you've created something.
Right, and so it just wakes up my creativity.
When we talk about our thing, what are we going to say?
I was going to say, is Marie ready to be our spokesperson if we're called on to share?
Yeah, we have to.
What's our vision?
Yeah, what's our vision?
Are we?
What's the vehicle to get this across?
I kind of do like the youth thing. You know how great it would be for young people to have this. It took me forever to learn. You know, and what I could have, all the things I could have done. You know, I could have been. You know, it would have opened up so many more worlds if I had known this when I was, 15.
And these kids nowadays are struggling like insanely, and just to function in this world.
And in a creative way, we get their interest and we teach them our words.
Take a moment now just
Getting them to open to.
go into that quiet.
I liked your gap bridge thing too. Did you put that down?
Just think of all the gifts and all the energy that was around co-creating. That's so much fun. Co-creating. Somebody said.
That's fun too. Different kind of fun.
Okay, let's rock in. Let's go.
That's a different day.
Topic for a different day.
All right, let's get still, quiet, and take a moment and reflect on the energy that was in your group. In that field of resonance, you had an energy field that you had created in resonance together. I would like to hear from someone, and I'm feeling it over on this side. Someone that would represent their group, that would stand up and share some idea for a vision that came from your group. Maybe it's over here after all. All right, Kevin, here we go.
Here we go.
Intention. Came to a place of intention that was centered in authentic joy, and that our goal to change the world is to bring people to a sense of their true joyous nature. And we have mechanisms through the talents that exist with the people in the group, that they have the capacity to bring forth as a group and interacting with other people, have the capacity to bring forth this joy. So we have wonderful musician, singer, movement, dancer, person very interested in authentic dialogue, Dennis. Michelle is interested in taking a look at what we are truly interested in as human beings. In other words, perhaps the concept of lack is, in this abundant world, isn't really a truth. And so that we would re-examine what we're looking for in life and move from a place of abundance as opposed to a point of lack. And Richard, again, very involved in Chinese movement and would bring forth joy and abundance. So we would interact with a group of people to bring them to the center of authentic joy.
Beautiful.
culminating, celebrating that, right there. Just put it out there so we can celebrate that. You know, that's the joy. As it comes to a close and culminating, I'd like to take one more. I have two, so we may have to go to two.
She was reluctant.
Well,
Do you mind standing up?
Oh, sure.
This would help, because you're
I have to pat us on the back because at first glance, when you hear what our talents are and what we have to offer, you wouldn't think we could come up with that. But we did. And so I'm a Reiki master for people and animals. Rita works with horses, is good with horses. Brooke is almost ready to publish a children's book, but it's helping children to know how to relax and before they hit puberty, lose that creative part of their mind. And then Phil is envisioning helping people pro bono who, you know, have just, this isn't how he put it, he was very articulate, but have been crapped on, okay?
Have been.
Crapped on. You know, it's like an example, he didn't say this, but like an example would be children that have been taken from their families because of immigration. Like how do they get help? And then Rosemary's a scientific mystic, and she's in our group as the writer in your book. And she is, one of her things that she can offer is teaching us to be more intuitive and facilitating action by connecting with nature like a new moon and a full moon. So how the heck do we put that together? Well, our group vision is to create a healing roadmap to hope and grounding.
Got called out.
And there was one over here.
Well, in our group, we were lucky because we had Carrie. And she is, as we said, the midwife for our book. And so, can I say a little bit? She said she's very out of her element and, you know, she's not used to this kind of thing. However, we immediately had the idea that we could write a book. So we talked about what we would put in it, and we decided that we were all servers and we could talk about how we could keep joyous and affirmations, but you know, we know they don't work unless the person is buying into it. So we could give an example of setting boundaries and some of the things. So the truth is we didn't get too far in our book, but Joyce asked for Carrie's card. Oh, and Jan just admitted she has an idea for a book that we couldn't even talk about.
Thank you.
I'm looking at our time. Lily was supposed to keep me on time. I think I am on time. I mean, I'm going to be on time. So, is this something really quick?
Yes. It's not too fast.
We don't even have a way to get to the bathroom.
My name is Carol, and very quickly, it's not on part of the group, but I'm sure they helped me get to this place. I was just brought to tears a few minutes ago with the power in this room and the multiplicity of talent in this room. We're capable of doing absolutely anything and everything.
We have a treat for you. We're going to use your listening. So I'd like for you to get quiet again and just close your eyes. Bob is going to sing the song, and we want you to listen to the words.
If you wanna go fast, then go alone. If you wanna go far, you better bring somebody else along. 'Cause in the moment of darkness, in the moment of truth, you think you're lucky stars, there's someone there with you. There's a beauty in numbers, it's impossible to deny. It takes two hands to claw and a pair of wings to reach the sky. Where there was one, there will be many. Where there was nothing, there will be plenty. When he turns the wheel like the roots from the tree, he pushes everything up from underneath. But together we rise, together we thrive. We believe in circles, 'cause circles take no sides. Together we win, when everyone is in. When every little hand and every little heart touches every little piece and every little part. If you want to start a revolution, reach out your hand and lift up a brother or sister. Feel the power in your command. If you hold a vision, show everyone what you see. Watch the tribe come alive to turn your dream to reality. Where there was one, there would be many. Where there was nothing, there would be plenty. When he turns the wheel like the roots from the tree, it pushes everything out from underneath. Well, together we rise, together we thrive. We believe in circles, 'cause circles take no sides. Together we win, when everyone is in. When every little hand and every little heart touches every little piece and every little part. What's inside of you is inside of me, and it's amplified. When turned into we, you'll never hear one hand clapping, fly with one wing flapping. Many hands, many hearts make things happen. The reason they call it unity, 'cause it all begins with you and me. If you wanna go fast, then go alone. If you wanna go far, you better bring somebody else along. Together we rise, together we thrive. We believe in circles, 'cause circles take no sides. Together we win, when everyone is in. When every little hand and every little heart touches every little piece and every little part.
inviting you to join together with me, with our co-writers, in a consciousness revolution. And when you look at the word revolution, if you take out the R and you have evolve, it's a revolution to evolve. And if you take E-V-O-L, turn it around, it's what? So that's really what we're about on this. Now, going back to the stages, you all just went through them, and just that quick exercise that you did together, with the coming together, the convening, the connecting, the collaborating, the co-creating, where you develop the ideas of what could come together, and then culminating, so ending and celebrating. We'll continue to celebrate. But I wanted to talk about, these were the phases that we went through to write this book. Back in, it was January when Christine and I talked. I'm looking at her right now. And I said, I got this.
The title was there in Costa Rica.
Yes, I had the title, Circular Leadership. Didn't have the Together We Rise or what. But it, it had gotten put back aside, and I thought, oh, at Breakthrough, I think I talked to Shannon. No, it was Rosemary and Richard, and said, if I did this, would you join? And Lilia, and they all said, yeah, we'd do that. I said, well, we'll see. So I put a call out to anybody, the people who were on our co-creation council right then, and asked if they would like to join and be part of an anthology. And we came together, and there were just 2 or 3 that didn't stay the course, that before, they didn't jump in. They let me know ahead of time. But when we met, we convened right in this room. We connected, and some people were tired. They didn't, after one of the Acmes and ready to go home, but we did. We got through the connecting part, and then the collaboration. Sitting here and thinking, what is it that I could write that could share with others? What would I write about? This has worked all of us. We've had personal stuff come up, so you're going to see in the book, there's a lot of diversity. We have diversity of thought, beliefs. It's just an incredible thing, and how we all came together with this beautiful product. And so what I wanted to do, that was our co-creating, and now we want to celebrate. So I'd like to invite the authors to come back up to the front, and I think I can do this. The first section in the book is called The Circle. And Vicki Fury is on a bus trip with her mother right now. She's not able to be here, so we're holding space for her. But we're just going to go in order, and if you'll stand up, if your chapter's up there, and anything you want to say about the name of it, your name.
So my chapter's number 2, and I kind of took a left-brain approach to it a little bit. It's the title is Linear Management, or Line Management, the old-fashioned way of doing things, evolves to circular management. And it ends with an original poem of mine. So get the book and read the poem and enjoy.
Yes, I'm Jim, and I chose to go with the pseudonym J. Arthur and actually recreate myself at this point in my life. And I'm so glad I did. I didn't know what I was stepping into. Linda opened doors for us that we didn't have any idea what we were doing. And we stepped forth and we did it. And the co-creative process is absolutely joyous. What I have done is I've got my first copy of my book, and I don't know, does anyone here know Andrew Levy or know of Andrew Levy? Anybody here heard of him? He's a realtor in Florida, and he found out that the grade school children in his area were eating basic raw cheese sandwiches because they couldn't afford to pay their debt at the school cafeteria. He exhibited circular leadership on his own without realizing what he was doing. He took it upon himself to pay just under $1,000, which paid for 9 different school cafeterias to be caught up so that the kids could eat and not have to worry about being hungry while they were learning. So I'm signing a book and sending it to him, but we're all here together. So I have a thank you note to Andrew Levy, and I would like each of us here to sign this, and I'll include it with the book. I've got several copies so we can sign it front and back if need be, but this is what circular leadership is all about. Thank you, Linda.
So we'll move to the next one. The model in practice. I did write about being a leader of the circle, and I'm not going to go into that right now, but it's being what we've talked about. It's being the space holder, it's going within. And our next one, chapter here, and by the way, pay attention when they stand up so you know if you have a book and you want them to sign their chapter, this is a great time to do it. They'd love to, so.
So my chapter was about creating this culture of circular leadership. Actually, CCC is in that title too, but I was at that time in my 3rd year on the Co-Creation Council, and Linda suggested that since I'm newer to it at that time, I might have a view of what it was like to join that culture and be part of that circle. And it has been an amazing experience beyond words, and I tried to capture it in words. So hopefully you'll feel the energy of it when you read that section.
So I'm Rosemary, and in my chapter, Living a Multi-Dimensional Life, there's more going on than you think there is. I talked about how we each found our role in this circle of leaders, and then what that meant when we were doing it, but also how we live our lives if we can connect to the higher guidance that's available to us. And it plays out both, circular leadership isn't just for organizations or groups or nonprofits. You can use it in any tribe or family gathering, or thinking about how if everybody in each chair is a leader and we invite them and honor them for tapping into higher guidance, then we can all benefit from that. We all just experience that. At least I think in each of our circles, we just experienced what it was like to tap in, bring something in, and then spiral that circle up into some higher vision. And that's what this chapter is about.
Thank you, Pat.
So my name is Shannon Plummer, and so my title is Jump Off the Circle and Enter the Spiral. And I related this to my own shamanic practice and my own shamanic, referring back to a few shamanic mentors that I've worked with. Because life, regardless of if we're at home, if we're at work, if we're with our families, if we're with our friends, we're always in some healing journey, some healing process in our lives. And when we recognize that that is the circle, that's the medicine wheel, and recognize where we are on that circle at that particular moment, we have compassion because we realize that everybody in the circle is also somewhere in their own healing journey. And as we go around that circle, every time we get to that awakening and having that new vision, because we've released our stories and we faced our fears and we're connecting to that higher place of our knowingness, we can hold a new vision. We see a new potential, not just in ourselves, but within other people. And when we all come together and recognize that as a group, that's the completion of the circle, and that one circle then becomes a ring of the spiral. And we just keep going through that healing journey over and over and over, and sharing that in a sacred, safe, loving community, whether it's the CCC and 12 people among the CCC, or if it's in a group of 130 people in a room. All of our healing affects every other person, and it helps us relate, and it helps us have compassion, because my own humble opinion, we're all trying to heal the same stuff, we're all trying to get to the same place. It just shows up in these different packages. So that helps us relate and help other people to complete that circle so that they can continue to spiral into that beautiful, beautiful thing that we call life and evolve into that spiraling back to where we all came from, which is love.
So, I am like. So Francie Boyce is not here today, but I'd like for us to hold her in our minds. It's her birthday, and she's having to teach as well. So she's getting to teach, she's not having to.
So I'm Lilia Shoshana Ray, and my chapter was Consensus and Discernment, Vital Practices for Circular Leadership. And some of you may know that before I was an angel messenger, I was a lawyer. So the practices, the foundational practices that help to hold the circle together are what I wrote about and feel are very important because they give us that thing to rest back into and support us in our process.
Hi everyone. So my chapter is Heart Sight. Microphone. See to create change. Basically, it's about approaching every living thing and seeing it for the first time through your heart. Dropping all labels, judgment, preconceived notions, just seeing it for what it is. And that's how we create change.
My name is Gloria, and the title of my chapter is Giving Up Membership in the Flat World Society. And as we know, for centuries, it was believed that the earth was flat, and it really limited people. And then a woman with a vision, who doesn't get all the attention she deserves, is Queen Isabella, because she funded Christopher Columbus to find out this truth. Because you all laugh now, I feel the urge to be funny. I have stuff to say, but that was enlightening when that happened. And we've been hearing so much about the shift. Shift happens, and just what is the shift? It's giving up that flat world concept, and it is owning who you really are. And I'm talking about a whole different level. I think we don't even have to say it. We know who we really are. That's the shift. Now we're in this expanded world. And what we're learning is we are divine, okay? And we're co-creators. And so the main theme of my chapter is about intention setting, which Linda mentioned earlier, and how very important and how empowering that is. So I was going to come in with signs that say, down with the flat world society.
Thank you, Gordon. And Marilyn didn't make it today. She's in Purple.
So, my name is Karen Brockman, and I found in this group for the very first time unconditional love, support, respect, honor. And maybe I'd been in other communities that had done that, but I didn't feel it. Because what I did is circle back down. And I wrote my chapter, well, I truly believe we are all one. So allness is my logo, and a friend even made me an allness t-shirt. But you can't, if you recognize that we're all, then what you want to heal is yourself so that we can start healing each other. And I spiraled all the way back down. And And then I condensed it down because I knew that story didn't need to be told anymore. And it didn't even need forgiveness because that's the story that got me here, right now here. And so this allness thing is really working us, and it just keeps going. It's just this spiral. And remember, there's as much below as there is above, and the same as above is so below. So the astrology, everything we've done has empowered me to be the strong, powerful person that I am.
Oh, it is happening. What did I do?
I don't know.
I missed her. Oh, that one hadn't come up yet. I got it.
Hi, my name is Helen Diker, and my chapter is Imagine from I to We. And when I was creating the title, I was thinking about John Lennon. And in the words, you may think I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. And sometimes when we think of creating this better world, you might feel like, you're a dreamer. But I just have to say, this afternoon, when we were in circle and when everybody in here was in circle, I felt it. It's not a dream, it's real. And I think we can really do it. So all the time that we can get this validation and confirmation that this is possible just reminds me of the imagine part of my title. And then from I to we, the individual is the building block of any group, family, couple. It starts with the individual. And in my chapter, it's wanting to bring forth the best individual that I can possibly be. And I have to do that on a regular basis. I need to get up every day, think about it, set my intention, and then try to be that person. And when I go into group, try to bring that love and that wisdom that you get when you really go to that quiet space that's inside of all of us. And so it's all about, bringing out the best in me and all of us bringing out the best in each other. And I think we have actually really accomplished that in our ACT group. We accomplish so much, and it's all in a very loving way, and hopefully we'll take it out to the rest of the world.
Helen has an original poem in there, but when she was coming on to the ACT Co-Creation Council, I do orientation for the people who first come in. Over the last few years, I've been doing that. I learned the hard way, you need to do that, so they know what they're coming into. But she reminded me that I said something about, well, we're going to love you into wholeness. And that's really what we do. So,
Look at the title.
Hi, my name is Linda Alphys, and my title is Finding My Voice. And wow, I'm standing here in front of you all, speaking with a microphone, where several years ago, I would have been under the chair. So it's not finding my voice, it's finding my truth. And what we all do as we spiral up is find who we really are authentically. And then we speak loudly, and then we hold that truth. So I am so excited that I'm standing in front of you and able to do this, and thanking the Co-Creation Council and Linda, because holding that safe space, respecting each other, honoring each other, is undescribable, and that's what we should be doing for everyone that we meet. So thank you.
Thanks, Linda.
yeah, I was going to mention, and I'm going to hold it for her. So, Kim Watson really helped me pull the pieces together. She spent 2 days. We were with index cards all over my floor, and she bought a house while we were doing this. She bought a house in Michigan and moved before we even got to this. So, but she's here in spirit, and she has her books, and she'll be able to see the live stream. And then Stephanie Porter many of us know her, naturopathic doctor. Well, she got married, and her big celebration was yesterday, and so she's not here either. And I'd like to kind of end this part with my husband. And I'm going to have to hold the microphone, but if you come up, because his chapter, well, I'll let him tell you, but he has a poem, and that I really want him to read to you. And then we're going to close. That's it. The song was first, but it's not a chapter, but it is a chapter. It just comes in the beginning. And by the way, you can download that if you buy the book. This is a good time, Christine, before we begin to close. Because she just said when I was over there, she said, do you mind, I'd like to speak about something to this group while we have a chance. So I'll let her, and then Ed will close by reading his poem. But we're not leaving yet because we're going to do the song, this time not in meditation, but with gusto. And then we're going to have pizza and salads, anybody that wants to hang around, and we'll be able to work with you, with the books. Okay, so, yes.
All right, and you will need this. Okay. So as a publisher in the room, and anyone who's ever written a book or will be writing a book, this is one of the most important things that all of you need to be doing for your book. Number one, even if you buy a print book here, please, please, please go to Amazon. Hopefully before you leave this room, the Kindle right now is only 99 cents. Grab the book on Kindle as well. Because then when you do the second part, which is review the book, it shows you as a verified purchaser on Amazon. That's how you get that verified purchaser status. You have to buy it. So, how many of you have already bought the book on Amazon for 99 cents? Awesome. How many of you are going to buy it before you leave today on Amazon for only 99 cents?
Today only. No,
Yeah.
maybe tomorrow.
It might still be available tomorrow. And how many of you can make a commitment to writing a review on Amazon for Linda and all of the other authors? And here's the thing I'm going to ask you. Linda might not come to you 15 times to nag you until you do it, but every single review on Amazon actually means more visibility for the book. It doesn't recognize the book until it has at least one review, really. And then the more reviews it has, the more visibility it has. I don't understand the Amazon algorithm, but it does work. Like, you need to have the reviews up there. So if each of you can make a commitment as a thank you for this amazing day that Linda put together for you, and for all of the authors, write them a review, please. I'm begging as the publisher, please write the review and buy the book.
I can't do that for myself. Thank you, Kristen. One of the things that we have noticed, and I would love your take on it, the book itself has amazing energy, and we all know it. The energy it's carrying is between the words, it's in the spaces. But I think you'll get a sense if you just feel it and know the intention that was behind it. So, as Ed's going to close, and then we'll. Oh, okay.
Yes. Well, as you see, chapter 18, where we end. Oh, before we do that, I want to let you know, as best I know, as the night comes and darkness comes, as best I know, Linda doesn't go to the angelic realm during the night physically. Otherwise than that, I can't speak to how she travels. But it's rather incredible, and the love in which she shares and gives to all of us, I get multiplied. So it's just beautiful. So gratitude there. Before I do the poem, just real quick, related to the chapter titled Choosing to Evolve a Higher Consciousness or Not. It all has to do with choice. And Peter Russell, who 18 years ago was one of our first speakers, to act, started for us in terms of, for me, how to raise my consciousness to a higher level. And we did it collectively and have continued to do so. His whole focus was we all are gifted with choice, and we get to choose how we want to see out of these very eyes what it is that we want to have it look like. So it's ours to see it as its truth, as opposed to things that in our mind are things that we've held on to in terms of how we might look or express or have a feeling about something or somebody. So that was really important with Peter Russell at that time. And that continued on to just our last meeting here on the 13th, when the focus was on love. And what I've been left with that, and stays with me so strongly, is love is the answer. What's the question? And because that's where the real energy goes, and it goes on this spiral, because what we put out is then what goes in the ethers of the universe and expands. So, in terms of my poem, Love Comes Trickling Down, that was started about 22 years ago, when I shifted into wanting to see what it is to be a spiritual being in this earth plane, and going to workshops and trainings and readings and etc. And out of that, the energy came to my awakening at a heart level that this poem came from. It wasn't from thinking, it was from the feeling, knowing heart. And it's called Love Come Trickling Down. What is it that strikes at the heart, that hits a chord, that touches the soul, causing us to silently speak without the intent of a plan? Speaking of beauty, speaking of truth, truthing of joy, speaking of love, and even speaking of hurt and pain. Just for a moment, just in the moment, briefly holding back the wordless sounds, I speak with a teardrop that has welled up. So fast, not asked permission, but has come just the same. I brush it away, as to not to be counted, and in silent wailing, I seek to look and cool serene, but then comes another from within, a heart message, encased in a tear. Has to get out, can't be denied, lest I choke it off with an unsneezed sneeze. Lest I choke it off, more difficult. It swells up, so full the drop, the eye cannot contain. So, trickle down joy, trickle down shame, trickle down heart, trickle down pain, trickle down love. There I am, standing naked in the moment. If I dare, I look around and see the face of another, the face of a sister or a brother. They too have a moment to smile. And there I see it, within and without, and even maybe we touch each other. Without words, we share a moment of joy, of oneness, of peace, of unity. In a moment, there has been truth revealed, a touch to the chord within the heart, within the soul, now gone, fleet-footed into the past. Left we are with an insight or sense of touch, awareness, growth, about what and who and where we are. Automatically, quickly we move on. Maybe later to reflect, left with a knowing that somehow, somewhere, soon, there will be a next time, and love will come trickling down.
So this may be a perfect time for the song. And just to prepare you, we're going to put the words up.
Or are we going to get in a circle?
I'm going to do that. get this going. Oh, I was gonna see the revolution.
Oh, right.
So let's do it just by looking for a moment. This, now think about this. You are a circle. And you join with another circle. And you join with another circle. Whoops. Two. And as you can see, this is how we do it. That is the seed of life. And looking at that, let us seed and lead a revolution of oneness and back to wholeness, which was our natural state. So, if we can get in a circle, and by that means just, you may have to move the chairs. We'll see what we do. The words are up here, so you can see them. You have to kind of keep watching it and see what Come on, we can do it. We can do it. Hey, we're going to start moving anyway, so.
All right, are we in a circle? I think we are.
Close enough.
I just want to invite you to go into silence for a moment and just look around the circle at who showed up here today. If you want to go fast, then go alone. If you want to go far, you better bring somebody else along. 'Cause in the moment of darkness, you can see in the moment of truth, you'll thank your lucky stars that there's someone there with you. There's a beauty in numbers that's impossible to deny. It takes two hands to applaud and a pair of wings to reach the sky. Where there was one, there will be many. Where there was nothing, there will be plenty. When he turns to weed like the roots from a tree, it pushes everything out from underneath. Well, together we rise, together we thrive. We believe in circles, circles take no sides. Together we win, when everyone is in, when every little hand and every little heart touches every little piece and every little part.
Watch this one.
If you want to start a revolution, reach out your hand and lift up brother, sister, feel the power at your command. If you hold a vision, show everyone what you see. Then watch the tribe come alive, turn your dreams to reality. Where there was one, there will be many. Where there was nothing, there will be plenty. When we turn to weed like the roots from a tree that pushes everything up from underneath. Well, together we rise, together we thrive. We believe in circles, 'cause circles take no sides. Together we win, when everyone is in, when every little hand and every little heart touches every little piece and every little part. Inside of you, inside of me, and it's amplified when it's turned into we
the microphone, I don't know where.
Linda, can we
Ask you to stand. Oh, go.
Linda,
Yes.
can you stand in the middle of the circle?
So we have a tradition in ACT meetings, and it's a tradition that Linda has helped us see the importance of, to really give back to those who give to us, those who present and sing, or who have participated in an ACT gathering. And we ask them to go to the center of the circle and receive a blessing. And I'll mention the blessing. And before I do, I also want, and then I'll have you join me in the blessing. But I'm holding these beautiful white roses and another bag here. And they're coming from your co-authors. And they represent the love we feel for you, and the appreciation, and the gratitude for convening the circle, ACT to begin with, and the Circular Leadership Group as the beginning of this new global movement. And this is just a small token of our appreciation for your love that you have given us, your guidance, your wisdom, and your courage to begin with the vision, acting on the vision, convening the circle, and moving forward in a co-creative, collaborative, wonderful way that we are going to celebrate like anything after this. So I want to give you these. Traditional blessing is to say your name and say, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the light in you. So now joining with me, Linda. We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the light in you. Thank you.
I invite you to have pizza and salad and get a book if you want it. We'd like you to, and we'll be here to sign it. And write a review.
Thank you all.
I just need to sign off this thing. So thank you for joining us today. This has been a presentation of the book launch of Circular Leadership, Together We Rise. It was organized by Linda Roebuck of a community of transformation in Annapolis, Maryland. Thank you all for being here today. Bye.